Alright, this is Vegeta8259, and this is my review of the 1:100 scale high grade Tallgeese 1. And I know it looks kind of funny right now, and that's actually because Bandai doesn't really make a 1:100 scale high grade Tallgeese model kit. What you're going to have to do is buy the 1:100 scale high grade Tallgeese 3, and it includes the parts to make the Tallgeese 1 and 2, as well as the 3. So, if you plan on making the 1 or the 2, you're definitely going to have to do some painting if you want it to look the same way it did in the show. Bandai does give us some stickers, and they're mostly for the Tallgeese 3. However, the only sticker that goes on Tallgeese 1 here is this little blue square sticker that's going to go up under the faceplate for the eye camera. And with all this, you will get the dauber gun, as well as the Tallgeese shield, which can be mounted to either shoulder. And just for a quick turnaround, show you what he looks like. Again, it's all molded in the Tallgeese 3 colors. Although, in kind of a strange move, Bandai did give us yellow chest vents for Tallgeese 1 and 2. The Tallgeese 3 has blue chest vents, but for some reason they included yellow ones, even though they're exactly the same, just different colors. So, I just found that kind of odd. But anyway, just because this looks so weird when it's not painted, I'm going to stop here, paint this guy, and continue the review after I've painted it. Alright, and after painting the kit, this is what it turns out looking like. And I use pretty much the standard Tallgeese colors, maybe with a couple variations here and there, but they're more or less the same as they were in the TV show. Alright, and the decals, by the way, do not come with the kit. Actually, it's a combination of decals from another master grade, plus some decals that I designed myself, like here on the shoulders, that I had Samuel decal print out for me. So let's go ahead and get into articulation. The head is actually on a peg rather than a ball joint, so you've got some forward and back movement, but you don't have any side to side, and then you'll get 360-degree rotation. The shoulders can go 360. You want to be careful for these giant thruster pods, though. Originally on this kit there is no rotation below the shoulder joint. However, I did modify it to add rotation below there. And originally the kit is also going to have polycap elbow joints, which will give you a double joint, but it'll only have about a 90-degree bend. I replaced that with a plastic joint, and it bends a little bit less than 90 degrees. But the polycap joints really didn't bend much further than this. And the hands I also modified. These are some Kotobukiya aftermarket hands. The original hands that came with the kit are these, and the thumb has no mobility, but you've got 3 fingers, and then the index finger is separate. You get rotation below the waist. It's not going to go 360 because of the back skirts. It's only going to go about that far. The hips can go forward about that far, back till they hit the back skirts. They can go in and out a little bit, not far. They're on a ball joint. And the side skirts, I guess you could call them, have a little bit of forward and back movement, and they can rotate. The knees are double jointed, but being such an old kit, you're only going to get about a 90-degree bend out of them. And the ankles actually have pretty good mobility. Since the ankle armor is so minimal, you've got lots of forward and back movement and side to side and a good bit of rotation as well. So there's really no problem in getting this guy to stand up. Although a lot of these Tallgeese 3 kits will have a little bit of trouble with the knees being loose. I found that after I painted them, the looseness in the knees was alleviated a bit, but straight out of the box the knees are going to be a little bit loose. These thruster pods actually have some articulation as well. They're on a polycap with a peg on the back, so they can go all the way up, down, and they can rotate 360. And they have a little opening mechanism. This fin on the side can go in and out, and the two doors on each side are actually connected together inside the thruster pod. So when you open one, both of them open up, and you got one thruster on each side with some nice little internal detail down in there. So having Tallgeese on an action base with both of these thruster pods open should make for some pretty good aerial poses. Now, as far as the weapons and accessories go, you're going to get a dauber gun that's actually quite long. Putting it on the ground, it's about as tall as the Tallgeese itself. This little handle right here on the front is on a ball joint, so it can swing forward and move around. The ammo magazine is removable, and this little lever right here can go up and down as well. Plus, you've got a little connector here that's on a polycap that will be able to go up and down as well. And you've got a little tab that flips out on the shoulder armor, and you just peg that in there, and that's how the dauber gun is going to be stored. Also, the nice thing about Tallgeese's weapons is that they can be stored on the shoulder, but they can also be used on the shoulder. As you can see, the hand is in just the right position to where you could fit the dauber gun's handle into the hand and still have it connected to the shoulder. And I believe it was used quite a few times in the show that way. For the other shoulder, you get a shield, which is just a round, simple shield. Originally, this shield is going to have an eagle scribed on it. I removed that just out of personal preference, because in the show the eagle wasn't there, but in the original line art it was, so they put the eagle on the model kit, but I went ahead and removed that just because I wanted to put this big custom decal here. And it's got a mount on the back that's got two polycaps on it, so that can rotate and swing back and forth and all that. And on the back of the shield you're going to have your beam sabers, and you can simply pull those out, and you get two clear pink beams that fit nicely right in there. And just like the dauber gun, you'll flip this out on the side and simply peg that in, and then the shield will be stored on the side of the shoulder like so. Now just a few small details before we wrap up. Like I said earlier, I did use some Kotobukiya hands for this kit, and I've got 6 different hands. I've got 2 open palms, 2 weapon hands, and then 2 closed fists. And as you can see, the open palms look pretty nice, and the weapon hands are actually a little bit big for Tallgeese's weapons. The beam saber is kind of loose in the hand, but if you position it just right, you should be able to hold the beam saber no problem. Likewise with the dauber gun, since the handle is more or less the same size. So I guess that about does it for the review of the 1/100 scale high-grade Tallgeese. I actually really like this kit for several reasons. One, it used to be a Tallgeese 3. I just, to this day, 13 years later after this kit's been made, I still love the fact that Bandai included the parts to make the Tallgeese 1, 2, and 3 all in one kit. So that totally makes up for us not getting a 1/100 scale Tallgeese back when Gundam Wing was airing in 1995. And on top of that, it's just a really nicely sculpted kit. The proportions are nice, the details are nice, much nicer than the kits that came out back in 1995 when Gundam Wing is airing, in my opinion. It's very nice, just like the other 1/100 scale Endless Waltz model kits. The only real drawback to this, if you're going to do the Tallgeese 1, is obviously the painting, because as you saw at the beginning of the video, it's going to come molded in Tallgeese 3's colors. So, that about does it for this review, and with that, I'll see you guys next time.